Do you believe in family curses? After this story, you just might. Two women, two children reported missing. Both women, cousins. So in 2009, a little girl named Haleigh Cummings from Satsuma, Florida, was reported missing. Her mother, Crystal Sheffield, had lost custody due to drug addiction to Ronald Cummings, the child's father. He was living with his girlfriend. I should note, Ronald at the time was 24 years old. His girlfriend, just 17. Ronald was at work, and that has been confirmed. His girlfriend, Misty Crosland, was alone with two children, Haleigh, then 5, and her 3-year-old brother, Ron Jr. She stated she put the children to bed, and then she tidied up the house, did some laundry, and then she laid down. She awoke in the middle of the night. She stated the kitchen light was on, which she was sure she had shut it off. Upon investigation, she found the back door propped open and no Haleigh in sight. It wouldn't be long before rumors would start to fly. People said that Misty wasn't even home that night. The children were alone. Other people said she was at a party with the children and that Haleigh had overdosed on drugs. And then even more sinister rumors, such as Misty's cousin had done something in a fit of rage to young Haleigh over a drug debt that he had with the father, Ronald. To this day, no one has been charged in the disappearance of Haleigh, and she has never been found. Ronald and Misty are both in prison. They were sent to prison on drug charges. Now, it was alleged that there were a lot of drugs in the home. And you would not even believe the hefty sentences that these two got. Really, Misty, at only 17 years old, was given 15 years for a small amount of drugs. Now, they were narcotics, but they were a really relatively small amount that she supposedly was trying to sell. And Ronald got something like a 20 or 25-year sentence. It has been speculated that authorities thought that by putting them in prison, they could get somebody to crack and tell what really happened to Haleigh. That has never happened. Now, it was Ron and Misty who were, living with Haleigh when she went missing, not the mother, Crystal. But Crystal is cousins to another woman named Lana Barton out of Jacksonville, whose 21-month-old son, Lonzie Barton, went missing on July 1st of 2015. Now, I may have the day wrong, but it was definitely July. His body was recovered January 10th of 2016. At the time of his disappearance, Lana was living with her boyfriend, William Reuben Ebron, who went by Reuben Ebron, who went by his middle and last name. At the time, Lana was 26 and her boyfriend was 32. They also allegedly had drug problems, and there was a lot of drugs in that home as well. At the time, Lana was working at a strip club called Wacko's, which is a perfect name when you think about this case. And Her boyfriend was allegedly known as the man with the drugs who could get the girls what they wanted when they wanted it. So on this particular day or evening, Lana went to work, and not too long after, her boyfriend reported a carjacking. He stated that he left his car outside his house and went in to grab something. The something later ended up being cocaine. And that when he came downstairs, his car had been stolen with little Lonzie in it. Wouldn't be long before that story would crumble. And Mr. Ebron gave multiple versions of what happened that night. But ultimately, his final story was that he and the mother, Lana, put young Lonzie in the bathtub to occupy him while they had sex. And when they went to check on him, he had drowned, and they buried the body. Now, Mom, Lana, to this day states that that never happened and that the baby was perfectly fine when she left for work. She has maintained the same story all along, whereas Mr. Ebron's stories have changed repeatedly, but he did ultimately take police to the body of the baby, which was in a remote area of Jacksonville, buried under a bunch of tires and not buried very well because one of his little bones was sticking up through the tires. So sad. He was sentenced 20 years for manslaughter. Mom was given 5 years for child negligence, but an additional 7 years on drug charges. And again, she has never admitted that she knew the child was deceased or that she had anything to do with burying his body. But Mr. Ebron states that child was deceased long before she went to work that day. In any event, an autopsy was done, and it showed that the baby had some injuries that were in different stages of healing, including cracked ribs. It's just really interesting when you think that both of these children were distant cousins to each other. How many families have children, multiple children within their bloodline, go missing under such unusual circumstances and become high-profile cases? In the case of Lonzie, we know what the unfortunate outcome was. In the case of Haleigh Cummings, nobody knows whether she's dead or alive, but with all the years that have gone by, it's not looking too positive for there to be an outcome of a child still living. So tell me what you think about these cases, and especially what you think about the fact that they were cousins. And I knew both of these cases. I actually did a video on Haleigh before, but I had no idea that they were related until about a week ago. And when I started digging to confirm that that was factual, I was blown away. I can't imagine what the odds are. In the Summer Wells case, we've been saying all along how crazy it was that Summer and her aunt both were reported missing. And in this case, it's, to me, even crazier because it's 2 children and, really so many similarities in the families. There's drug addiction going on both sides. And, the children both went missing while in the care of a significant other and not the parent. So it's just really sad and really mind-blowing that, this is all within one family. So tell me what you think about it. It's crazy. It's crazy. All right, talk to you soon. Bye.